Welcome to the Royal Enfield Ride Pure podcast. We are at the Curry Motor Speedway and we are going to talk about a culture which is the racing culture at the Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup. Be tuned in for the next podcast because it is going to be a chatter. It's going to be out of the box because I've got three characters. Each of them have their own upbringing. Each of them bring their own element to the track. Like one of them, Mr. Khayan Patel, who was not allowed to enter his home because he didn't learn his bike. And then we have Seshadri, who is right here, who's a pure play Bangalore boy. And then we have a man who's all the way from the top of the country, right from Jammu Revat. Welcome to the podcast. And between all the three of you, I would like to start off with you with Kayan. How did they not let you come inside home without understanding the bike? Because you're a Parsi yourself.
Since the time I was born, it's been a part of my blood only because I'm the fourth generation of my family racing. So there was no choice for me that, I ever chose another sport. They had put me on a bike when I was 3 years old.
Your dad has taken on the raid of the Himalayas. Your uncle is a multiple supercross champion. कभी कभार कॉम्प्लेक्स होता है क्या आपको?
Not at all. These people have honestly been my stars in my life, where they have pushed me to a level where I am today. So these people never give me complex. They are the people who have always pushed me to achieve more than them. Like what they have achieved in their life, like they want me to achieve more than what they have done.
And that really talks about the racing culture, which will set the agenda. Seshadri, you're a Bangalore boy. It is normal for you, everyone, to just grow up with bikes. But your first encounter with a bike?
My first encounter with a bike would be when I was 15 when I stole my brother's
To
TVS.
take a girlfriend out?
No. It was
Or
never.
impress a girl?
No, it was to impress myself by doing popping wheelies. I don't know. I was saying it. I think that time it was famous. MTV Roadies was famous at that
Right.
time. Looking at the pulsars doing those wheelies, so I always had the interest and I took my brother's Victor out, and after my parents getting caught, both my brother and me lost the privileges.
And you still are thinking about those things and just brings out a smile on your face.
Oh yeah, it does.
Revat, you are a man from Jammu and Kashmir. How did this, I would say, this complete persona of getting into the Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup happen for you?
So I saw a social media post on Instagram, and that's where I got in. I enrolled myself in the Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup Championship, and I got selected. It was like a very happy moment.
You know
for
what?
me.
With because of that particular answer, the social media team at Royal Enfield is going to get an incentive. They have found a star. Revat, this is your fourth season.
Yes.
Now, remember your first season? You were learning the ropes. Second season went. Third season went. And now, when you're on the fourth season, how does it feel when the juniors? I like to use the word juniors. I know you like to call them amateurs. When they come up to you and say, "Ki bhai, teach me how does it? How does it feel?"
The feeling is really great. It makes us feel very better. It gives us even like more boost to even like try new things out on the track and get like more experience and share those things with the amateur riders and help them grow even better.
Seshadri, when somebody quizzes you, an amateur quizzes you, that how do you take a line? So does that mean that you dig deep and you try and get the right answer because you are questioning your work ethic as well?
Yeah, so basically how it feels is it's when we started, we go and ask our seniors. So when they're coming and looking up to us, looking us right, why? Because they wouldn't be asking us if they didn't know that we were doing it right or wrong. So they will be asking us because they know we are doing something better than them. So when you ask them, we go deep into answering it right, so that when they implement it and when they get the output out of it, it brings a smile on both of our faces.
Kayan, what is the first thing that you tell an amateur before he gets onto the bike? Apart from what not to abuse on the track, what not to abuse off the track, Parsi way, how do you say? I mean, whatever. You understood my
No, it's
question.
the first thing I would just tell, like, for example, the partner which I have this round.
Do we need to pray for your partner right now? Just
Yeah,
checking.
please. Like he comes in for the round one, it's not even official practice, unofficial practice. He comes, by the second lap he's crashed and I'm without a partner. And for the twin power trophy also I don't have a partner. and now he's coming back after recovering a little, and now he's like suddenly he's like, I have no confidence on the bike and this and that. I'm like, first you finish, survive day one, and then come and talk to me.
I like that advice, but here is a cross advice. Would you have given this advice to yourself when you started?
Obviously.
Did you listen?
Yeah, yeah. I would give the same advice to myself also. Because coming for a race weekend and not making it till the end to know what it feels like to finish an entire race weekend when it's your first time as an amateur also, you need to understand that, crashing on the first day and going out, it's not going to make sense for you.
I have to talk to Seshadri and Karan. Just come in whenever you feel like. The first season, it was you couldn't predict what is going to happen. It was the fear of the unknown. Retro bike, modern parts. You reduce the silencer. It is over 12 kilos lighter, and you were just waiting for that thud to come onto the track. Were you guys talking to each other? Were you guys what was going on? What is the commotion that was going on?
Oh, the first season, see, this is how I like to put it today. This was tougher than a UPSC exam. Why would I say is, first season, the amount of entries we had is what, 200 plus? Yeah. And the amount of bikes we had to ride was 25. So you see the ratio over there. And we had the entries of 200 plus for 25
Wow.
bike grid. So you could put it. So it's tougher than a UPSC exam when you put it into a scale of this.
How many bikes and how many selected folks had come down?
So when we came in, we saw that there were more than 200 participants who came in for the selection. And then we realized that there are only 25 slots for the final top riders of 25 riders who will get selected to race the entire championship.
So out of the 225 riders, finally had to make it. So we are talking about street to the track. Now this is something special. The Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup goes around various places in India to find talent. Ahmedabad, Pune, Bangalore, Chennai, Pondicherry, the Northeast. You name the places, even Guwahati for that matter. We've gone to places less traveled to identify talent and finally bring them to Coimbatore at the Curry Motor Speedway to finally pick up that exclusive folks who get selected and race on that bikes. You know about that experience much better.
So mainly I would just like to say that, that Royal Enfield is genuinely taking the initiative to go around to these different cities to let people be aware about what is happening, rather than making it again more of like a South dominant sport, which the other championships have been being happening as.
We could add it to that Royal Enfield is the only manufacturer, India manufacturer right now who are tapping into the grassroots levels of the sport right now. There's no other manufacturer right now who are tapping into the grassroots level and upbringing the sport like Royal Enfield is doing. So a big shout out and kudos to them.
What is it that you're giving back to the sports, especially to the amateurs?
It's about, you have to give in to the amateurs where the amount of knowledge that you've gained over the years, where you have once upon a time been an amateur and then becoming a pro with the level of the amount of trainings, the sweat, the tears that you've put in to the sport.
There are tears.
Yeah, there are tears.
There
This
are
sport
tears.
is genuinely.
Seshadri, year one was tough for you, and I understand that.
But no, honestly, if you go to see, this sport is really brutal. This sport will show you and define what life is. It will test you financially, mentally, physically, in all sorts of manners.
Does it check the amount of sanity that you are in? Are you sane enough to really pick up that sport? What keeps you going? I just want to give me a free flowing answer.
I would say, are you crazy enough to do it? Why? Because I would say it's a very thin line to victory and breaking bones over here.
Wow, nicely said. So since we're talking about crazy, what are the craziest thing that you've seen on the track?
Oh, my craziest thing would be during the stock race, what I had in 2017. The grid was 40 bikes, and during the race start, on the home straight, there were more than 10 bikes which crashed flying upon themselves.
Wow, that's something. Yes, Kian.
I remember in the year 2022, when I was riding my stock days,
Okay,
that time I was running fifth in the race,
okay.
in the last round of the championship. I still remember in one corner going straight from fifth to first, and then leading the entire race and finishing the race first.
How did that happen?
It's just God that gave me the power to put the bike in and overtaking all 5 riders into that first corner and putting the bike in and winning the race after that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There are multiple personalities in Kayan. Suddenly it becomes philosophical. Suddenly there is a humor. Then there is a slang of the Parsi that comes in. uh, since we're talking about overtaking, be honest. Now we can beep few of the words as we. You are passing Shashadri for the lead. What is it that you tell yourself? Are it doesn't take so much time to speak. Let me the commentary one more time. Kayan on the inside, Seshadri on the outside. Master move. Kayan passes. And what do you tell Seshadri under the helmet?
Okay, bye bye.
Seshadri, let's put it back again. You pass Kayan. What do you tell him under the helmet?
Can I use the Kannada slang?
Yes, please. Can you repeat that again?
I would be like,
What does that mean?
Let's leave it to imagination. What would you say?
Bye bye.
He's been the gentleman. Can you be a little more non-refined part of the gentleman?
he wants the beep. Come on, give them.
What would you tell him?
No, because genuinely my bye bye will be genuine as a bye bye because I'll never come back in his hands only. Then.
Oh, wait. So how would that bye-bye sound?
That's the bike speaking for myself.
Now, you guys are pros. You just seen them coming into turn number 1. Now, there are multiple lines. Now, Kayan, when there is traffic ahead of you, now to those who are watching back home this particular Ride Pure Royal Enfield podcast, how do you decide your lines?
So mainly, I have been a person who's always been late on the brakes. So when I enter into the corner 1, when the race starts, my main perspective is to get ahead of as many riders as possible, where I will brake the latest that I can and put the bike in.
I really like that mentality. I'm going to ask each one of you to guess. Every weekend, you know what? Let me just keep this answer straight away. How many seconds do you think from the season 1 to season 3 that you have shelved on your Royal Enfield Continental R650? How many seconds do you think you'd have shelved?
I've shaved off at least more than 2 seconds.
Wow. How many seconds?
More than 4 seconds I've
More
shaved.
than 4 seconds. How many seconds did you shelve
I
off?
have shaved around 4 seconds, more than 4 seconds.
So, to all three of you, I'm going to say some sort of a trivia. We were just number crunching with each round. An average of 3/10 was what you were doing, and by the time you come down, you're already going up to 2 to 4 seconds. How were you able to do it, Seshadri?
Again, the bikes have constantly evolved. Royal Enfield are doing a great job from season 1 to season 4. The bikes have evolved, the tires have evolved, the support, the suspensions have evolved. They have given dampers, which is helping us in a lot of corners in the track. So from you could see from season 1 there was no steering dampers, there were no suspension, there were stock suspensions. Suspensions was not tunable, and the tires. To now there are better gripping tires, adjustable suspensions and dampers. So this helps us and a little bit of our efforts of trying to push that limit.
Beautifully said. We are about to come to a close at the Royal Enfield Ride Pure podcast. Before I let three of you go, I would want you to talk about the experience of just being on the track and that lovely red machine. How does that feel? Please describe your experience because we are also going to be following up with the Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup races as well.
Honestly, what Royal Enfield has been doing all these years is been remarkable because these people are genuinely putting out a benchmark to other different championships also, whereas in hospitality wise, to race direction wise, to the bikes, to everything has been on point when it comes to Royal Enfield up till now. Like they know how to treat a rider, how to keep them well, how to keep their bikes well. There is no partiality anywhere. All the bikes are the same. So Royal Enfield is genuinely setting a benchmark into the Indian racing fraternity where they understand what a rider needs.
So, Shadri, for our folks watching back home, this is the Royal Enfield Ride Pure podcast. Describe the bike from the stock 650 to the R650. What are the changes? I know it's
There's a
lovely,
lot
isn't
of work. A lot of work in the sense it's a stock bike. You see, they have not done anything to the engine. The engine, what you get on the street, to the track is the same. They have done major weight reductions. Like I think the stock bike would weigh around 210 plus. They have done a weight reduction of. They have put exhausts. They have changed the suspensions. They have added dampers to it, and they brought down the weight to I guess around close to around 188 kgs. So the work put in is a lot, but as you see, the engine is the same. What engine you're going to ride on the street is the same engine you're going to race on the track.
So let's talk about the changes made, starting from the exhaust and so on.
They've changed the exhaust. They put a parallel twin exhaust. Then they have put rear sets, race sets for better position for a rider on the track to crouch in. And they've changed the handlebars.
Right.
And they have put a front fairing for the aerodynamics basically.
This is a retro old school fashion bike with all the modern gadget to make it go faster. Again, from the street to the track. I have to talk to you about the crashes, Kayan. I'll come to you later. But Revat, you've had crashes. How do you bounce back, or do you just bounce off?
No, no, I had a crash during the race one of.
Describe your crash, please.
So I locked my front wheel in turn one. So I actually locked my front wheel entering turn one. To save that, there was a tire wall at the exit of the turn two, and I just went into the tire wall, and it threw me off the bike, and then like I got some injuries. But despite of all those injuries, I again raced the next day, and quite like I finished few places ahead where I started, so it was quite good.
Grit. Yes, Mr. Kayan. I'm sure you had a lot of crashes. Now you're wondering which crash should I talk about? Let's go.
So I have basically had multiple crashes, but like for example in 2022, I had a crash where I was literally ejected off the bike because of my own mistake, where I locked in the brakes and the bike literally turned to the other side and I was ejected off the bike, which is called in racing terms as a high side. So a high side happened. I crashed. I still remember I had broken my collarbone that time. So racing is a place where you have to be prepared for breaking bones
Wow.
very often.
And maybe change doctors as well?
No, you can fix a doctor also.
I have to ask you, as part of the racing culture, I'll keep this as my final question uh, between both of you. It's very important for a rider feedback when you come back into the pit lane, you're giving that feedback to your tuner. How critical it is to learn that art.
Oh, it is. Why? Because that is the only art you need to learn when you're at the expert level, where it's going to save that last milli tenth of a second of you winning that podium you wanted so badly, or you coming second or third.
How do you learn it, Kayan? How do you learn the
It's
art of
more
just
about, it's genuinely more about you coming out and understanding the motorcycle to a level where you can come out and tell a proper amount of feedback to the technician to work on your bike, because each click on the suspension makes a huge difference. A click off can put you off or the bike off.
I think I will leave that with that sentiment. Click off can put you off. Well, you were watching Royal Enfield Ride Pure podcast. With me are the pros, Kayan, Seshadri, Revat. Thank you very, very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a fabulous weekend at the Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup. We're going to watch these guys on their red machines.